Vijay rally tragedy, 10 reasons behind the stampede. Supporters versus opposers debate. The Karur rally that was meant to boost Vijay's political journey ended in a stampede tragedy. Over 40 lives lost, and now the entire state is divided. Supporters defend Vijay while opposers blame him and his team. Here are the 10 major reasons people are talking about, with both sides of opinion. 1. The power cut. Supporters. They say the sudden current cut in the middle of the rally created fear and confusion among the crowd, which led to pushing and chaos. They argue it was an unexpected situation and not Vijay's fault if people panicked in the dark. Opposers. They claim the current cut was done intentionally to avoid heavier damage, like people climbing electric poles and risking electrocution. They argue that without cutting power, the tragedy could have been even bigger. 2. Chipal throw by unknown people. Supporters. The slipper was thrown by unknown mischief makers only to spoil Vijay's meeting, not by his true fans. They insist Vijay cannot be blamed for the act of a few individuals. Opposers. Throwing a slipper on stage is a serious security lapse that should have been prevented. They argue this created fear in the crowd and worsened the chaos. 3. Small venue and permission issue. Supporters. TVK says the government denied bigger grounds and forced the rally into a smaller space. They argue Vijay managed with what was permitted, but he was not given fair options. Opposers. Critics say holding such a big rally in a cramped place was reckless. They believe Vijay's team should have postponed or scaled down the event to ensure safety. 4. The ambulance entry. Supporters. The ambulance carrying water cans with a TVK flag was meant to distribute drinking water to the crowd and also ambulance enter into the crowd to take people to hospital. They say this was only a relief measure, not Vijay's mistake if panic spread. Opposers. Critics say an ambulance should never be misused to carry water at a rally. They argue its sudden entry with siren and flag split the crowd and worsened the stampede. 5. No water or food provided. Supporters. People knew the rally would be long and should have come prepared for it. They argue it's unfair to expect every detail, like food and water, to be arranged by Vijay. Opposers. Organizers failed in their basic duty of providing drinking water and food. They believe dehydration and hunger made the crowd restless and unsafe. 6. Senthil Balaji's fort. Supporters. The massive turnout proved Vijay's popularity even in DMK Minister Senthil Balaji's stronghold fort. They say this was evidence of growing trust in Vijay, despite political dominance there. Opposers. The huge crowd was uncontrolled and dangerous in such conditions. They argue it was irresponsible to hold such a massive rally in Karur without proper planning. 7. Leaders' reactions. Supporters. Vijay's camp says leaders in DMK and other parties are politicizing the tragedy for their own gain. They argue Vijay is being unfairly targeted for something beyond his control. Opposers. EPS blamed the DMK government and Vijay's team for negligence in crowd safety. BJP's Annamalai also criticized the government for failing in basic responsibility. 8. Vijay's silence. Supporters. Vijay avoided meeting the press or rushing to the spot because it could have drawn more crowds and worsened tension. They argue his silence was a calm strategy to prevent further chaos while his party handled things. Opposers. Critics say Vijay went missing and failed to face the press when people needed answers. They argue even a short statement or hospital visit would have shown leadership and compassion. 9. Vijay's late arrival. Supporters. Big leaders often come late, and fans waited patiently out of loyalty. They say his delay was normal in politics and not the main reason for the tragedy. And they also said Vijay got permission timing from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. Opposers. His late arrival forced the crowd to wait for hours in poor conditions. They believe this delay increased frustration and exhaustion, worsening the stampede. 10. Political disturbance. Supporters. Some believe DMK or rivals deliberately tried to disrupt the meeting in Karur. They argue disturbances like slipper throwing and sudden issues looked planned to damage Vijay's image. Opposers. Even if disturbance is suspected, no one expected 40 deaths. They say Vijay's team should first accept their own safety failures before blaming others. Comment your reasons for this strategy. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Tilak News.